Hello there, my name is Miguel, and today we'll talk about mental health in tech. I became interested in this topic not only because I am an undergraduate in psychology and have been working in technology for years, but also because it is an industry that employs millions of people worldwide and has been praised for having some of the happiest workers, but throughout recent years it's been going through episodes of turmoil, such as layoffs and plummeting stock prices. I want to understand what is the trend for mental health among workers in tech. In particular, I want to understand whether mental disorders have increased or decreased, and I want to understand what factors may be contributing to this trend. More specifically, whether the level of support provided by employers plays a role in mental disorders or not. And to do so, I rely on data by a provider called the Open Sourcing Mental Health, which for years has conducted the Mental Health in Tech survey. As of the time of this publication, the 2022 edition has not been published, therefore I will rely on data from 2017 throughout 2021. After several pre-processing steps, which can be found in the full write-up, which I will add in the comments, we have 682 participants. In terms of demographics, over 50% of them are males or identify as male. The ages are mostly people in their 30s and late 20s. And most people are either live in the US or work for US-based companies. Now, before moving on to the results in the analysis, let's keep in mind three important variables: the year of the survey, the level of support provided by the employer, and the presence of mental disorders. So with that said, let's analyze one of our important variables and its distribution, the level of mental health support, which is on a 0 to 100 scale, where greater numbers indicate greater level of support perceived. And as we can see here, the distribution is not normal. We see that most people feel a mid to high level of support by the employer, but there are also some spikes in the lower end. As for presence of mental disorders, approximately 67% of people say they do have a mental disorder. Now, with regards to our questions, the first one, what has been the trend over the years? We can start to understand this through a stacked bar chart. First, we can notice that the number of responses has steadily decreased over the years. But setting that aside, we have that over the years, it seems that more people say that they have mental disorders versus those that do not. Now, since we are dealing with proportions, a yes-no, for independent samples over the years, we can do a chi-squared test of independence. And just for reference here, we have a contingency table, which is the stacked bar chart in numerical format. And after running said chi-squared test, we have a statistically significant p-value of 0.002. This indicates that results have varied significantly over the years, and this is likely not due to chance alone. What's interesting, though, is that this test does not indicate the direction of the relationship. So as we can see here, at the beginning of the surveys, we have significantly more people saying, yes, they have mental disorders. But then in 2020, we see a reversal. More people actually say that they do not have a mental disorder. And 2021, it's a mixed bag, or it's pretty tied up. So it's interesting because 2020 it marks the start of the pandemic. So it's something that a follow-up analysis could look into, whether the working from home format induced by the pandemic plays an important role there. Now with question number 2, whether the level of support provided by the employer, a 0 to 100 scale, influences the presence of mental disorders, a yes, no, a binary variable, we can use a logistic regression model. And after doing so, we have another statistically significant model, meaning that the level of importance provided, the level of support provided by the employer does play an important role in the presence of mental disorders. However, what's interesting here, after plotting the results, we do not get the expected S-curve or sigmoidal curve, rather we get a straight graph. This suggests that the relationship is nonlinear, therefore the logistic model requires further tampering. So in conclusion, even though our results are statistically significant, that over the years there is a significant variance, and that the level of support provided by the employer is important, the data is not of the best quality. The models can be further enhanced, and lastly, we are dealing with mental health, which in nature is nuanced and would require more variables to be considered. Thank you very much.